You grip the edge of the kitchen chair and you don't like the way your hands need to help your legs now. You stand up, but your thighs feel like damps and bags, heavy, quietly shaky. And when you take that first step, you smile like everything is fine, even though your heart does that small drop inside, the one you never talk about. Because you don't want to worry anyone, because you still want to carry your own groceries, because you still want to walk to the mailbox without planning it like a military operation. You didn't say anything at dinner last Sunday. You just sat a little longer before standing. You smiled and said you were fine, but you weren't, and deep down, something is asking you whether this is just how it goes from here. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn could change everything. Most people get told that leg weakness after 60 is simply the price of getting older. Doctors shrug. Family members say, take it easy. Well-meaning friends suggest you rest more. But here's what nobody is telling you. This is not just aging happening to you. This is a specific, real biological process that has been quietly stealing your leg power for years, and it is something that research now understands far better than most people ever realize. The supplement industry earns billions every year selling you tubs of powder and complicated protocols that most seniors never stick with. The pharmaceutical world has expensive answers that come with long side effect lists. Meanwhile, one of the most well-studied foods for senior leg strength costs less than $2. You were never told this, but here is the truth they never wanted you to know. If you are over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, if standing up from a chair now involves a slow rocking forward, if climbing stairs makes your thighs burn in a way that embarrasses you, if you have quietly started avoiding long walks or crowded places because you don't fully trust your own balance, this video is specifically and completely for you. Today, on Older Coach, I am going to walk you through the one food that science has linked to measurably stronger, faster leg power in seniors, and I'm going to explain exactly how it works inside your body, exactly how to use it, and exactly what mistakes you need to avoid. Pay close attention to everything I share here, because the detail that matters most is not the food itself and the last piece of information. It is the one thing hiding in your own bathroom right now that could be quietly ruining everything. Most people believe that leg weakness only comes from one thing, losing muscle over time. And yes, muscle loss is real, and it is serious. But here is what the research actually shows about what happens inside aging legs that almost nobody talks about. After 60, your body quietly reduces its production of something called nitric oxide, a tiny but incredibly powerful molecule that acts as a signal to your blood vessels, telling them to relax and open wider. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. When nitric oxide is healthy and flowing, that hose runs full and open. Oxygen reaches your muscle fibers, nutrients arrive on time, fuel gets delivered when your legs ask for it. But when nitric oxide production drops, which happens naturally with age, the hose kinks, blood flow slows. Your muscles don't just get weaker over months and years. They don't turn on as well in the short moments when you need them most. The speed, the snap, the quick power that lets you catch yourself, rise from a chair, and take the stairs with confidence. That is what aging takes first, and that is exactly what beets help restore. In a landmark clinical trial conducted at Indiana University, researchers studied community-dwelling older men and women with an average age of 71 years in a carefully designed double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover study. These were not athletes. These were real older adults living real lives. Seniors who consumed nitrate-rich beetroot juice demonstrated measurable improvements in maximal knee extensor speed of approximately 5 to 11% and maximal muscle power increases of approximately 7 to 13% compared to those who consumed a nitrate-depleted placebo beet drink. The researchers noted that these improvements were large enough to theoretically offset the muscle power decline that typically accumulates over a decade or more of normal aging. 1 decade of power loss, partially offset in hours because of what nitrate does inside your body once you give it the right source. Here is how that actually works, in plain language you can picture. When you eat or drink beets, they bring in dietary nitrates. Those nitrates travel to your mouth, where helpful bacteria in the deep surfaces of your tongue begin converting them into nitrites. That nitrite-rich saliva moves into your stomach, where it gets absorbed into your blood. Your blood then carries those nitrites to your tissues, including your leg muscles, where they are converted into nitric oxide. That nitric oxide tells your blood vessels to relax and widen. Blood flows more freely. Muscle fibers receive more oxygen. Calcium handling inside the muscle, the tiny electrical trigger that makes a muscle contract, works more efficiently. Your legs don't just feel better in some vague general way. They have a genuine physical reason to respond faster and with more force. That is not a wellness blog claim. That is the biological mechanism researchers at Indiana University documented with precise laboratory measurements. Peak effects on nitrite levels tend to arrive roughly 2 to 3 hours after consuming your beet source, which is why timing matters as much as the food itself. And now here is the piece that no one else is likely to tell you because it seems so completely unrelated. Your mouthwash, your antibacterial mouthwash. A study published in the journal Nitric Oxide found that using antibacterial mouthwash markedly reduced the rise in plasma nitrite after a dietary nitrate load because it wipes out the very bacteria in your mouth that start the nitrate to nitrite conversion in the first place. In plain words, if you drink or eat beets and then rinse with antibacterial mouthwash, you can lose a significant portion of the benefit before it ever reaches your bloodstream. The first step of the chain reaction happens in your mouth. Disrupt that first step, and the chain never completes. You can brush your teeth, that is fine and healthy and necessary, but if your dentist agrees, skip the strong antibacterial mouthwash in the hours around your beet intake. Your mouth bacteria are not your enemy here. They are your partners in this process. That single shift, doing nothing except not rinsing with the wrong product at the wrong time, could mean the difference between feeling a real response and feeling nothing at all. Now I want to tell you about a woman named Margaret, 68 years old, who lives outside of Pittsburgh. Margaret had always been the one who cooked Sunday dinner for everyone, the one who walked her neighborhood every morning, the one her grandchildren called the fast one because she could still chase them in the backyard at 62. But by 67, the Sunday dinners had moved from standing at the stove to sitting on a stool. The morning walks had gotten shorter and quieter. She stopped chasing anyone. She told herself it was just arthritis. She told herself it was just the cold Pennsylvania winters. But she knew on the quiet mornings when she gripped the bathroom counter to steady herself that something had changed inside her legs that stretching and positive thinking were not fixing. She tried a protein shake. She tried a new walking shoe. She even tried a popular joint supplement after seeing an advertisement with a smiling older couple. Nothing moved the needle. Then she started using beet juice, 4 ounces, about 2.5 hours before her morning walk, taken with a small glass of orange juice for the vitamin C pairing she'd read about. The first week, she said it felt like nothing. The second week, she noticed she was walking to the end of her street again. By the third week, she stood up from her kitchen chair. One morning, without rocking forward at all, she didn't make a big announcement. She just cried a little in her kitchen, alone, and then she called her daughter. Her story is not unique. Right now, thousands of seniors across the country are discovering exactly this. The specific way you use beets matters enormously. It is not enough to just eat more beets. Here is what the practical protocol looks like when you use it for leg strength. If you are using beetroot juice, a serving of about 4 ounces, which is roughly 120 milliliters, gives you a meaningful nitrate dose without overwhelming your system. Drink it 2 to 3 hours before the time when you need your legs working best, before your walk, before you run errands, before you climb stairs, before your exercise session if you have one. If you prefer whole beets, blend 1/2 cup of cooked beets with 1/2 cup of water and a squeeze of lemon until smooth. Then drink it slowly. Cooked beets retain their nitrates well, and the liquid form helps your body absorb and process them more efficiently than if you simply chew a few slices with a meal. For daily use to build a lasting pattern, aim for once per day consistently. The Indiana University research found similar improvements after a single dose and after 2 weeks of daily use, which means both approaches carry value. The short-term response gives you hope. The consistent daily habit builds the foundation. The best pairing to take with your beet timing is a small amount of vitamin C, a half cup of orange juice, a few slices of orange, or a small kiwi alongside your beet shot works beautifully. Vitamin C supports the overall antioxidant environment in your body and also improves the taste, making it something you'll actually want to do again tomorrow. When you enjoy the habit, you sustain the habit, and sustaining it is where the real change compounds over weeks. Mayo Clinic's dietitian guidance confirms that a quarter to a half cup of beets is a reasonable practical serving, and beets' high nitrate content gives them their blood vessel and heart health benefits that registered dietitians have highlighted. Beets are also rich in fiber for digestive health, vitamin C, potassium, and manganese, which means you are not just addressing circulation, you are feeding your whole body with a genuinely dense, low-calorie food. And for seniors, where every meal needs to carry its nutritional weight, that matters. Before we go any further, I want to take one moment to speak directly to you. If what you are hearing today is helping you, if even one thing has made you think or given you a little hope, please take 3 seconds and hit that like button. You have no idea how much it means. Every single like tells us that real people, real seniors, are finding value in this content. Subscribe to Older Coach and turn on the bell so you never miss a video like this one. I promise you, everything we create here is made with one purpose only: to help you stay strong, stay healthy, and stay independent for as long as possible. And I would love to hear from you personally. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the daily activity your legs make hardest right now? Is it getting up from your favorite chair? Climbing the stairs to your bedroom? Walking longer than 10 minutes without stopping? Your story matters. I read every single comment, and if this video has moved you or helped you in any way, the super thanks button is a beautiful way to say so. Every contribution keeps this channel alive for seniors who need it most. Now, let's talk about something else that beets quietly do for your legs that most videos never even address. Your leg power isn't only limited by your muscle fibers themselves, it's limited by how well your blood vessels serve those fibers in the moments of demand. In older adults, blood vessel walls naturally lose some of their ability to relax and expand, a process researchers call age-related endothelial dysfunction. Endothelial simply means the inner lining of your blood vessels. When that lining doesn't work as well, vessels stay narrower than they should under physical demand. Your muscles call for more blood, the vessels hesitate, your legs feel heavy and slow. In a study examining beetroot juice and vascular function in aging, researchers found that beet-derived nitrates improved measures of that age-related vascular dysfunction, at least in part by enhancing nitric oxide signaling in the vessel wall. So when you use beets consistently, you are not just having a single good morning, you are gently, nutritionally supporting the very infrastructure that lets your legs respond when you ask them to. Here is something important that belongs in every honest discussion of beets for seniors. Beets contain oxalates, and the National Kidney Foundation includes beets among foods with high oxalate levels that people who form calcium oxalate kidney stones should be mindful of. Oxalate is a natural compound that, in some people prone to certain kidney stones, can contribute to their formation. If you have had kidney stones before, particularly calcium oxalate stones, please do not start a beet routine without speaking with your doctor or a registered dietitian first. Your clinician can help you understand your personal risk and guide you on whether beets are safe at your specific intake level and in what form. This is not a reason to fear beets. Most healthy seniors with no kidney stone history can enjoy them as part of a balanced diet without concern. But because you are worth protecting, I will always tell you the full picture. And if kidney stones are a concern but your physician allows beets in moderation, there is a practical and genuinely useful strategy. The National Kidney Foundation guidance explains that eating calcium-rich foods alongside oxalate-rich foods can help because calcium and oxalate can bind together in the digestive tract before they even reach the kidneys. That pairing reduces how much oxalate actually enters the bloodstream. In real life, this means have your small beet serving with a cup of plain yogurt or a glass of milk. If you tolerate dairy, you're not just getting leg support, you're protecting your kidneys at the same time. That is nutrition strategy working at two levels simultaneously. Now let's address a question you might have formed quietly in the back of your mind. What about blood pressure? If beets have these vessel-relaxing effects, what does that mean for people already on blood pressure medication? That is an important and intelligent question to ask. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial published in the journal Hypertension showed that daily dietary nitrate supplementation through beetroot juice was associated with blood pressure reductions of approximately 7 to 8 millimeters of mercury for systolic pressure over 4 weeks, along with improvements in blood vessel endothelial function and arterial stiffness. Those are meaningful numbers for blood pressure health. But if you already take medications that lower your blood pressure, adding a food with vessel-relaxing properties needs to happen with your doctor's awareness and approval. The same blood flow and nitric oxide pathways that make beets beneficial for your legs can interact with certain medications. Telling your doctor, "I want to add a small amount of beet juice daily," takes 30 seconds and can protect you completely. Let me give you a few more practical details that make all the difference when you actually build this into your routine. First, raw beets tend to have higher nitrate levels than cooked, but cooked beets are much more digestible and gentler on your stomach, especially if you eat them in the morning before much else. For seniors with sensitive digestion, cooked and blended is almost always the better first choice. Second, if you use store-bought beetroot juice, look for unsweetened, cold-pressed options with no added sugar. Many commercial beet juices are actually juice blends with added fruit sugars that shift the nutritional profile. Read the label. Your serving of beets should be working for you, not loading you with unnecessary sugar. Third, pace yourself in the beginning. Start with just 2 ounces the first day and see how your body responds, especially if you have a sensitive stomach. Beets can cause your urine and stool to appear reddish or pink. This is completely normal, completely harmless, and has a name: beeturia. It is not blood, it is simply the natural pigment called betin in passing through your system. Knowing this ahead of time means you won't be frightened when it happens. Let's also honor the simple and powerful connection between your legs and your long-term independence, because this is the part that deserves to be said without rushing. Research consistently shows that leg strength and power are among the strongest predictors of how long older adults maintain independence, avoid falls, and avoid nursing home admission. Your legs are not just tools for walking. They are the physical foundation of your freedom. Every time you stand up unaided, every time you catch your balance before a fall, every time you climb your own stairs in your own home, you are using the leg power that this work supports. That power declines slowly and quietly, but it can also be nourished slowly and consistently. One small, steady investment every day compounds into something that family members notice, that clinicians measure, and that you feel in the quiet dignity of moving through your own life on your own terms. Now let's do a brief but powerful recap of everything that matters, written into your memory in the way that serves you best. Beets fuel your leg power by supporting nitric oxide, the natural blood vessel signal that aging slows down. The nitrate to nitrite to nitric oxide conversion begins in your mouth and peaks in your blood roughly 2 to 3 hours after you consume them. That peak window is your strongest window for feeling a response in your legs. A serving of 4 ounces of beet juice, or 1/2 cup of blended cooked beets with water and lemon, consumed about 2.5 hours before your most active part of the day, puts you in alignment with how your body processes this food. Pairing with vitamin C supports the overall environment and improves taste and consistency. Avoiding antibacterial mouthwash around your beet timing protects the mouth bacteria that start the entire conversion chain. Eating beets alongside calcium-rich food reduces oxalate concerns for anyone with kidney stone. History. And speaking with your doctor before starting, especially if you have kidney disease, heart conditions, diabetes, or take prescription medications, is not a formality. It is the act of someone who takes their own health seriously enough to protect it properly. Everything I've shared here is for education and empowerment. It is not a replacement for personal medical advice, and it is not a prescription. Your doctor knows your full health picture, your medications, your history, and the specific details that no video can account for, before making significant changes to your diet, especially. If you manage chronic conditions like high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, or any heart condition, please have that conversation with your physician. This reminder comes from care, not from caution for its own sake. You matter too much for anything less than honest guidance. Here is your action challenge, and I want you to do it today. Not this weekend, not when you get organized. Today, go find one beet or check if you have beet juice. Pick up one bottle on your next errand if you don't. Choose the day and time you'll try it. Set a quiet reminder for 2.5 hours before your afternoon activity. Then stand up, walk to your kitchen, and take that one small step. Tomorrow morning, notice how your legs feel when you wake up. Come back here and tell me in the comments. Even writing "I tried it" is a small victory, because momentum is how strength returns, and every act of showing up for yourself counts. If this video meant something to you, if it gave you one new idea, one new reason to believe that your best days are still ahead, then please share it with someone you love. A parent, a friend, a neighbor who is struggling. You might not realize it, but sharing this video could be the thing that changes their life. Subscribe to Older Coach if you have not yet. Every video we make is designed for one purpose: to remind you that aging does not have to mean slowing down, giving up, or losing the things you love most. You have worked too hard for too many years to simply accept weakness as your fate. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to move freely. You deserve to live fully, and I will be right here every single week, giving you the tools to do exactly that. Take care of yourself, stay active, stay strong, have a blessed day, and as always, breathe easy.